What is up, fellow travelers? Aaron the Old Man Gamer here, and today we are back with another Stuff from Japan segment. We are talking about Walking Man the album, and this is the soundtrack to the movie The Walking Man. It is released under Avex, is directed by Anarchy, who has the lead track on this CD, and this features people who are on the 1% Records roster, which I believe is a sub-label of Avex, so this is all within the Avex imprint. So, basically, if you haven't heard of The Walking Man, it is a movie that follows the premise of 8 Mile. They just took it out of Detroit and moved it over to Japan. Most of the story beats are similar. So you have someone who is kind of growing up in poverty, lives in a single-parent home. He lives with his mom, who is not doing too well. She is either ill or had suffered an accident recently, according to what I've heard of it. I have not seen the movie, unfortunately. This is released in Japan, and the only way I would be able to see it is either go there or to wait until the Blu-ray or DVD comes out, and that's probably not going to be for a while, seeing that as this was released in early October. So, the main character is a kid who's growing up poor. He's got a speech impediment. He apparently stutters a lot. And he works as a guy who is, I guess the best way to describe him is a civilian traffic monitor. So foot traffic is a big deal in certain parts of Japan, basically to judge wear and tear on roads and stuff like that, and to judge how often stuff is used. So he works as a guy who keeps track of how many people walk across this particular area every day. And he goes from place to place, and he just keeps track of people movement. And during the course of that, he sort of becomes involved in rap music, but his speech impediment causes him problems, and like in 8 Mile, he starts entering competitions, and he chokes at some point. He falls, people laugh at him, and then he rises again, and at the end of the movie, he displays his sick rhymes and totally humiliates his opponent, and he wins the competition. That's basically how 8 Mile is. They just transplanted it to Japan. It was directed by Anarchy, as I said earlier, and it does incorporate some of the experiences from his life, and he's not too shy about some of the things he's done when he was younger. He wrote a book about it called Danshi no Yume, some of which is incorporated, as I said, into this movie. So the soundtrack to it, as you can imagine, covers a lot of underground Japanese rap music. Most of the people on here are not well known. So of the artists, 4 of these people are well known. The other 6 are people who were involved in a competition. So the way it worked was that they basically had a competition for 6 slots on the Walking Man soundtrack. So the people you see here are the winners. So the first 4 tracks are people that are either on 1% or have done stuff before. So you have Anarchy, you have Willy Wonka, you have Money Pets Junkman, you have Leon Fanarakis, and everybody after that is new. So it kind of gives you a good idea who is up and coming. I thought most of these people were very well presented. Their music was good. Their lyrics were good, and I wasn't too sold on everybody, but at the same time, you could say that about some of the guys on 1% as well. Of the 4 people on display from the professional side, the one that I was the least into was Willy Wonka. He's being pushed heavily by 1%. I believe he's just released his 2nd album not long ago. Leon Fanarakis is good. He's not 100% sell either for me, because I've watched a bunch of his videos and he kind of comes off as a bit weird. Musically he's good, but his image is, I think it's because he looks like a little kid. He kind of looks to me like if you go back to the 90s, if you've ever watched Criss Cross, he kind of looks like one of those guys. Kind of little kid, wearing oversized clothes, trying to be a rapper, and he just doesn't look the part, even though he sounds like he does fit in. So I'm not sold on Leon. Willy Wonka might issues with him are he sounds a little too clean. He's a little too polished, little too sanitized. It kind of comes off as a little bit fake. And that's nothing against him personally. It's just the way they make him sound. When I listen to Japanese rap music, I like something a little dirtier, a little grittier. He's just not it. He's very slick, very polished, a little too clean cut. I don't care what his lineage is. It's the image that he projects that I have a problem with, and it sort of comes across in his music. It sounds a little too clean. So the rest of these guys are a little bit grittier, a little bit more street sounding. It's some good stuff. I recommend checking this out. I've had people ask me why I show Amazon pages and stuff when I'm talking about these albums. And for those who don't know much about Japanese music is by and large not available in the United States. So even if it's in a digital format, a lot of stuff on bigger labels is never released in the United States, either digitally or physically. So if you want to hear it, you got to buy either the CD imported directly from Japan, or you have to see if somebody will release it digitally like Amazon or iTunes, or they'll stream it on Spotify or one of the other services. So in the case of, like, say, Anarchy, most of Anarchy's back catalog is not available in the United States. There's a couple albums available. Some of the stuff is available on Spotify, but a lot of his early catalog, especially the R-rated stuff, that stuff's out of print. And if you can't find it digitally, you're out of luck. You're basically paying extortion level prices on eBay. And trust me, those things don't go for cheap sometimes, because a new CD from Japan is by and large going to cost you about $30 to $40. These things are not inexpensive. They do price fix over there. There is a certain minimum for a CD, so no matter what, you're going to be paying quite a bit for a CD from Japan. So unless they're trying to get rid of them, it's never going to be below $20, $30. So when these things are available in the United States, I like to highlight that fact, because there's no point in talking about stuff that you're not going to be able to purchase yourself. So I want you to go out there and check these people out, and if you can, buy the stuff, throw these guys a bone so that maybe they'll see that the U.S. market is a viable place to stick their stuff, and that they won't start region locking their junk like they do with the major labels in Japan. So one of the things about the major labels is they will release stuff digitally in Japan. So if I go to the Amazon Japan digital music section, if I was from Japan, I could purchase almost all of Anarchy's back catalog and a lot of other music. And if you try to purchase that stuff, but if you're a non-Japanese IP address, they won't let you buy it. They won't let you stream digital media or purchase digital media through any of the Japanese exclusive sites. So in situations like this, when it is available, I want to highlight that fact, because chances are they will answer to the money. If they see that there is a viable revenue stream coming from the United States, they might consider flipping that switch and saying, okay, we'll make this available across all regions. And that's something that I've been trying to push for. I've been, as far as my reach will go, I will try to say, hey, look, guys, if you purchase this stuff, they might actually make more of it available here. So unlike other countries like Korea, for example, Japan is not aggressive about expanding their market. As far as they're concerned, Japanese music is for Japanese people, and the only market they care about is Japan. So with K-pop, in comparison, K-pop is aggressively marketed outside of Korea. So they will market to Japan, they will market to China, they will market to the United States, they will market to Europe. They will try to export their stuff as aggressively as possible, so you'll see a lot of K-pop stuff coming to the United States. You have KCON down in LA. You have all these artists coming to the United States for tours and stuff. Whereas you don't see that from a lot of Japanese groups. So you'll see stuff like Baby Metal or Kyari Pamyu Pamyu, but someone like Anarchy or AK-69 or even lesser known groups that are big in Japan but not outside will not come over here. unless there is a big money payday. And they act like, these people are superstars and you have to pay them top dollar. Well, the reality is most people in the United States don't know who the heck half these people are. So, I give props to people like Kyari Pamu for coming over here and actually putting in the work. Ideally, I would like to see someone like Anarchy or Willy Wonka or Leon Fanarakis or AK-69, GQ, KJI, Cray Stuck Kitty 9, any of these groups. I would love to see them come to the United States and do shows. But unless the money's there and unless people see it, they're not going to do it. So, The Walking Man, the album, I do recommend checking this out. It's a good CD. I enjoyed it a lot. I give this about an 8.5 or a 9. I'm not too picky about that upper range because it's good. I recommend it. It's well worth picking up if you're interested in how Japanese rap music sounds. And I, as I said before, I like the idea of supporting these people if possible. So that's my take on it. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and I will see if I can answer them if I can. In the meantime, safe travels to you all, and I will see you all next time.